to divide us.
Yeah, you gotta know when to pick your battles.
That's easy for you to say. You only consider yourself people of color when it benefits you.
What?
Oh, no.
That's not true. I don't think like that.
You're different.
Different how?
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Hey, we're going to talk to you guys about Insecure episode 7 season 4. If you're new to the channel, make sure you do something for me, yeah? Make sure you like this channel, make sure you subscribe to it, yeah? And make sure you share it out for those who don't know about it. And for those, obviously, as well, click on that bell button for the notification of the uploads, baby. And for those of you returnees, you ain't got the minerals, baby. You ain't got the minerals. Hey, make sure you get your merchandise, you know. Get it down below. Go and grab it. Alright, listen. Let's get into Insecure episode 7. So.
Thanks. Hola.
Hola.
Can I see your keycard, please?
Oh, I don't have it with me.
Talking about the Molly situation, we see a scene where Molly's in the water with the brother, his wife, and Andrew, right? And obviously, Molly goes to get a towel of water, a towel for the water that went into the woman's eye, right? Now, as she gets there, she realizes there's a couple in front of her, or a white person, a white man and a white woman, who don't show their key card, but get towels. Now, what we don't necessarily see that's the absolute truth. We get a snapshot angle, and it's hard to say because we didn't see them arrive. We just saw them there. Now, she's saying she never saw them offer a card, so I'm going to believe what she said, yeah? They never offered a card, and they managed to get a towel. She steps up, asks for a towel, and the woman's like, I need to see your key card. Now, stop here. Many people who are not of the, I'm gonna say this, many people who are BAME don't understand what just happened, what's about to take place and what's about to happen. Many people also within BAME, I would say, listen, do not experience what black people experience. So when we're talking about people of colour or persons of colour, we're not including everybody on the spectrum. I'm sorry, your experience is not the same as somebody who's black. Look, the mere fact that you're within even within our black society and the scale of colour, right? We have colorism. There's even a difference in the way that they're treated. So let alone somebody who's of an Asian community, you know, of an Eastern European community. They're not necessarily what we call Eurocentric or an American white, right? But anybody who's of those outer European or American white they might class them as people of colour or ethnic minority, right? But the truth is, those communities do not suffer as we do. Yeah?
Of color when it benefits you.
What?
Oh, no.
That's not true. I don't think like that.
You're different.
Different how?
Seems to me like you're picking and choosing who to give the benefit of the doubt to.
The black community suffers, especially the black American community, we suffer in a completely different dynamic and a different way. Is it Indians getting killed by a policeman? Is it Asian people getting killed by a policeman? Is it Eastern Europeans getting killed by a policeman? Is it Asian Pacific who are getting killed by policemen? I can't remember what other continents are there. Is it Antarctica getting killed by policemen? No, it's black Americans who are getting, or should I say African Americans who are getting killed disproportionately by police officers. Because the first thing is that our skin tone becomes a political statement. Our skin tone sets us on a certain path. Our skin tone comes with associations. Our skin tone comes with stereotypes. Our skin tone tells a story before we even got there. Our skin tone brings generalizations before we even open our mouth. So yes, the conversation about BAME is important, but the BAME isn't fair and it isn't the same. What we suffer is disproportion. When the Asian person says, what about me? I'm saying, what about you? What about you? The struggle that you have is not the same. Look, oftentimes we talk about black people not doing business well. Look, the level of affordment that we get compared to other minorities is completely different. Our bargaining power becomes less because the way they see us as less. You understand? You only have to look at our continent. Now, someone might say, well, you know, the leaders are not that great. Yeah, but the reason why is because there's always disunity within that community, but it's not always from our end. There's a lot of disunity that is pushed by other, I would say, other forces that come into that. So what I'm saying is that the perception of black people, the perception of us as a whole is starting before we even get to open our mouth, right? Because as soon as money gets to the woman, and she asks for a key card. This is what I call a microaggression. Now I'm going to read something out to you so that you understand what a microaggression is, and so that you understand how this works. So, a microaggression is a term used for brief and commonplace daily verbal, behavioral or environmental indignities, whether intentional or unintentional, that communicate hostile, derogatory or negative prejudicial slights and insults towards any group, particularly culturally marginalized groups. So here, now when the woman asks for the key card, why didn't she ask the white person for the key card? It's a microaggression, it's a slight, right? The change in behavior towards the two sets of groups based on what? Color. They don't know what Molly's background is in terms of ethnicity, in terms of race, and I say race, in terms of like nationality, right? They just see. So as soon as she asks for a towel, the first thing the woman does is say, "Where's your key card?"
Thanks. Hola.
Hola.
Can I see your key card, please?
Oh, I don't have it with me.
Oh no, I need to see it to give you a towel.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, someone might say, "What? She's just doing her job." No, but why didn't she do her job consistently? Now, you're a very smart human being. You look out for patterns. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. What is the pattern? +2 each time. Now, when you pretend as if you never saw the pattern, you're the one that's done. Not me. You're the one that's been ignorant. Not me. Do you understand? So what we're saying is, look at the pattern. The pattern is very clear. Why is it that when the couple who were white came up, didn't ask for a key card? Do you know what I'm saying? Molly was obviously standing behind them, but when I come to the forefront, you ask me for a key card. There's a change in behavior pattern. Do you understand? So these are some of the things that happen, and microaggressions don't exist just in race. They exist also in when it comes to between the sexes and the genders. And excuse my French on that one. All right. So, you know, when we saw that particular behavior, and Molly finally gets the key card because obviously, you know, the brother-in-law comes and gives the key card to the woman. And another thing as well is this: how did he vouch for her? That's a bit confusing. He's not in her room, so she's asking for a key card to prove that she actually lives in the place. He gives a key card, but he's not with her. Why didn't she ask him to validate whether she actually is in the same room as him? That's another story in itself, right? Because the moment he gives a key card, he said, "Obviously, I can vouch for her." What makes you be able to vouch for her? Yeah, she still needs to see a key card, as far as I'm concerned. Do you understand? All right, cool. Boom. Molly goes back to the pool, and she begins to tell her story. And this is where you start to realize that our stories are not the same. What we experience is not the same. You don't experience this on a surface level. You experience this on other areas, but there's certain slights. But you don't get the same measure when it comes to this racism stick. You understand? So when Molly's explaining her story in regards to the fact that she just got racially discriminated, and the guy questions it, and then he then belittles her point by almost saying, "Are you just playing a card, or are you looking too deep into it?" And then I explained, I said, there was a woman in front of me, there was a couple of women that were white, they didn't get asked for a key card. When I got there, they asked for a key. Now, I would be very honest. Because I know the situation that black people go through, and we know what we experience. This one-time event for somebody might think like, wow, like it's one time, like how can you prove that? So on that basis, if it was a screenshot of just this one time, it wouldn't be enough to say that, Molly, you were discriminated against as a black person. But since we have a history of life, since we are not 1 year old, since we are our 20s and 30s and have experienced a course of life and experienced such situations on a constant basis, there's no need for you to question me. There's no need for you to question me because I've experienced this on multiple times. It's not one go. Yeah? I'm not playing a card. The moment you think I'm playing a card is the moment you're missing what I'm saying to you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and I don't know why Molly even asked him if he saw it, because he actually didn't see it, because he only came up.
Calm down, or I'm going to have to get my manager.
Over a key card?
Room 328? She's good.
Over after, like it was a bit after. It wasn't necessarily he saw the whole thing. But the way that he pressed the issue showed the insensitivity and the lack of awareness. And obviously, yes, he goes, I've been discriminated against, but you're not on the same level. You see, when your discriminatory level is completely different. First of all, she's not only black, but then she's a black woman. So even me as a black male understands the discrimination that I receive as a black person, but I don't understand the depth it goes even further because I'm not a woman. And so until we begin to open our eyes to the experiences of other people and begin to understand that life ain't the same for everybody, it don't hit us the exact same way, and there are discriminations and there are things that come against us completely different, we don't get to experience, we don't get to really appreciate the struggle that someone's going through. And if I say I have a struggle and then you say, yeah, I have that struggle to try and meet me, to disarm me, you're a wicked person. What you've done is you've brought your experience to disarm my experience. That's not what I asked you to do. I don't need you to do that. You know what I'm saying? No, I had an experience. You understand? And the fact that you get to impress it. Now, what I'll say to this is, I see Andrew, I get that Andrew, that's his brother, right? But this is why I say that it becomes a very hard conversation. Because when you're not of our race, and you haven't experienced what we experienced, you take it a bit lightly. Because let me tell you something now. If that was my sister, my wife, my girlfriend, you know, a female that's in my family, and you know that was happening, I'd lock it down. I would say, are you like, bro? You nuts? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's my girl, rude boy. You understand? Yeah, that's my girl right there. If she said that's what it is, that is what it is. Don't go and pressing. You understand? Because otherwise, me and you gonna have a problem. That's where Andrew needs to kind of just step in a little. And I know he's a respectful individual, but when it comes to racism, we've suffered too much, bro. Like, and this is why I said, if you don't understand our experience, you will not be able to protect us in an emotional understanding the way we need to be.
For sure, so you could be making your life harder by assuming.
对，不要这样的吧。
Hey guys.
Protected. Do you understand? You may be there physically, but you may not understand the nuances of things that are happening right in front of you. That should have been a statement where Andrew goes, boom, bro, stop it now. Stop it now. You don't understand her process, you don't understand what she's gone through, you don't understand the history it comes with, you don't understand the pressure that she's gone through to get to this point where now someone's doing that about a towel. You may see it as a small thing, it's not a small thing. Stop it. You understand? And black men need to do this too. I'm coming at Andrew, but I'm saying black men are not doing this enough. We're not seeing this enough in the eye. You understand? So, yeah, so I understood Molly's reaction. I understood her frustration. I understood her pain. Because it's, again, I'm having to explain myself now to you. You're telling me you're part of this BAME community, and I have to explain my experience to you? You're not on the same level. We're not on the same level. We're not on the same level. Do you understand? So I can understand her frustration. I can understand her pain. And one thing I want to say as well, also with that, is that, you know, that frustration then obviously spilled over to where they were in the bed. And I'm just going to leave it at this point. Where they were in the bed, and obviously nobody was talking. And what actually Molly had a duty to do was actually have a conversation. I know black people say, I'm tired of explaining myself, but you haven't got a choice. Like, we can't get tired of explaining ourselves. Because we're going to have to explain ourselves to get people to understand. Just
What's gonna happen if I go along and trust? What's gonna happen if I trust?
understand. This is not a kid that you say to, I've told you once, told you twice, because you don't have that level of authority. Do you understand? The world doesn't work in our favor like that. We're going to have many, many conversations over and over and over again. But when it's your partner, you know, rather than harboring the feelings of annoyance, frustration, anger, it's better to have explained, listen, hey, look, Andrew, I'm not going to lie to you. That really affected me, you know. And I don't think your brother understood. Again, remember I keep telling you about not hiding behind frustration and not hiding behind the emotional anger. Because what it does, it doesn't allow for an explanation. When you're angry, you're justified to feel angry, but explain why you're angry. Because when you deep it and go past the level of anger, you'll find out that it's not anger that you're feeling, it's frustration, it's hurt, it's disappointment. These kind of terms come up to the surface level. Do you understand? So having that conversation would have been better rather than going to bed and then waking up in the morning and then he's looking at you, you're looking at him, it's slightly awkward.
I'll let you fester. We will figure it out.
He's not sure what to say. He's now hurt because you spoke to his brother a certain way. But actually, you know, peace, you know, you can install peace by speaking words of wisdom and speaking words of soothingness, you know. The Bible talks about the tongue sets off fires. Well, if the tongue can set off fires, I believe the tongue can also cool off fires. And the Bible actually talks about people who are peacekeepers, calls us Christians to be peacekeepers. And so it's interesting that that conversation never really gets had and you can feel the animosity. It's important, people. Have conversation. Don't assume, don't put it to the side, don't expect it to be done. Have a conversation. So, yeah, for anybody watching this, I want to let you know, listen, BAME is not all equal. We are not all in the same boat. You don't experience what I experience on a different level. When I get seen and they look at me, they see black man, they see criminal before they see anything else. A lot of times, right? When it comes to institutions, that's why we call it systematic racism. But anyway, guys, I want to say lots, stay loaded. Going to leave you guys and say, hey, tune in for our part 2 of Insecure that we do with Molly as well. My God. Hey, if you want to watch shows like this, make sure you click on backworldtube.com. That is backworldtube.com. Hey, if you like this channel, like it, share it with somebody, and subscribe. And then click on that bell button for notification of the what? Uploads, baby. You ain't got the minerals, baby. You ain't got the minerals.